She was a happy kid.
How did a young teen disappear just a day after her 13th birthday party, and was her mother or her mother's boyfriend to blame? Thank you for dropping by my channel, Ghostly Crimes. As you can tell by the name, I'm a crime channel. If that interests you, then please hit the subscribe button. Today's case is about Madeline Soto. Let's talk about the timeline, the inconsistencies in the story, and the public's reaction to the ongoing investigation. Madeline was a student at Hunters Creek Middle School, which is located in Town Loop Boulevard in Orlando. She was described as a happy, talkative young girl and just an overall sweet person. The young girl had just celebrated her 13th birthday. This would have been an exciting time for Madeline as she was now entering her teenage years. There was a party that her mom Jennifer Soto couldn't attend, but we know that Jennifer's boyfriend Stephan had. Jennifer did mention that her entire family was there and Maddie was super happy and loved all her gifts. We're not sure why Jennifer couldn't attend this birthday party. Maybe she was called into work last minute, or maybe she had a different party planned for her daughter. Maddie's actual birthday was February 22nd, and that was a Thursday. The party was held on February 25th on a Sunday, the day before she disappeared. In all honesty, I have thought that maybe this was premeditated, as in the suspect or suspects planned on having Maddie's birthday a day before she disappeared. This could explain why they didn't reschedule the party, despite her mother not being able to attend. But moving on, Stephan had been living with the Sotos for some years now. Jennifer referred to Stephan as a partner or a boyfriend, and even Madeline's stepfather. Mind you, the two had never been married.
Monday morning, we took her to school. We dropped her off close to school, across the street from a church, which is it's right next to the school. She crossed the street and walked to school, what we thought walked to school. My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point. It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it that walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up. She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it.
Madeline was reported missing around 8 p.m. on February 26, 2024. Again, this is just a day after celebrating her birthday. Stephan reportedly dropped her off at her middle school around 8:30 a.m. However, Stephan and Jennifer have also told investigators that they dropped her off at a church across the street, Peace United Methodist Church. This is actually a 9-minute walk to school, and from what we know now, Stephan was the last to have seen her.
It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the way or if she got taken, but she never made it.
Jennifer went to pick up her daughter around 4:30 p.m. Upon arriving, she was told that Madeline never came to school that day. She drove around and went to her mother's office where she says Maddie sometimes visits, but unfortunately Maddie was not there. Then she drives back to the school, and at this time the school is closed, so she emails Maddie's teacher and was told again that Maddie was never at school that day. Law enforcement conducted investigations with K-9 units almost immediately. Organized search parties went out to look for Maddie, even distributing flyers. More than 50 law enforcement officers spent the days following Madeline's disappearance, searching for her in the nearby woodland. Jennifer says that Maddie never took her phone with her that day. Now, she says that Maddie has ADHD, so it's not uncommon for her to forget her phone at home. So Jennifer tried to track down Maddie's last location by tracking her laptop, and unfortunately this was turned off. Jennifer did go through Maddie's phone and said there was nothing suspicious on there. Jennifer claims that Maddie was very open about her crushes, and when she went through her messages, there was nothing odd on there or anything that stood out.
You mentioned she's on games and stuff. Do you think she could have met somebody and tried to meet up with them?
She's open to us. She's open with us about, if she's got a crush with anyone. And she told us she had a crush on someone at school. And I looked at their messages. Nothing was weird. I looked at all of her messages, all of her deleted messages. Nothing seemed weird. It didn't seem like she was talking to anyone. So I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like she may have been taken. Because this is not like her at all to just disappear and not let us know where she's going or who she's with.
According to Jennifer, Maddie wasn't the type to run away from home. Jennifer claims that Maddie and her didn't get into many arguments, and the last one they had was about 2 weeks before her disappearance. Law enforcement looked through Madeline's phone and found a text message on February 22nd, Madeline's birthday, that read that she wanted to live in the woods when she turned 13. A text like this does make me question whether things were good at home.
I'm trying to hope for the best, but I'm scared for her. I want her to be okay and I want her to be safe. I don't want her to come back harmed. I just want her back. Whatever that means. I just want her back.
Are you getting any updates from law enforcement? I mean, yes, they're searching that small area, but have they gotten any hits on any scent or anything like that?
They haven't let me know anything. They haven't updated me since I spoke to them this morning. I've contacted them to get some information or to give them some leads, but I've heard nothing back.
Jen, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Please, 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 if you have any information, contact me, contact law enforcement. Any information helps. Maddie, if you see this, please come home. Please be safe. I love you very much. If you have my Maddie, please just let her come home. We just want her home.
Deputies did all they can to locate Madeline, searching the last place she was seen and following tips they had received. Unfortunately, the search came up empty. Jennifer Soto and her boyfriend Stephan did their first interview. I find the entire thing interesting, to say the least, and you'll see in a minute what I mean by that. I know many people have pointed out Jennifer's odd behavior, and some of the things she says are contradicting to what she told law enforcement. I will point them out. However, I'm not a body language expert and I don't know what Jennifer is going through in the current moment.
We had dropped her off close to the school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. Sorry. That should be it. Sorry about that. We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
Her shift of emotions is strange, and I know that the public has reacted to this as well. However, I will say that we shouldn't be so quick to judge because someone shows emotions differently than we do. I can point to many cases where parents aren't reacting the way we think they should when their children go missing, and they were later found not guilty. Jennifer was showing more emotions in the previous interview, and from what I know, this is the first interview that they ever did. In the previous interview, she was also calling out to the public to help them locate Madeline. That is something she does not do in this interview.
I was the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. But yeah.
13?
She's 13 years old, yes.
13, Madeline?
Madeline.
Madeline. What are you thinking right now?
In my heart, I feel like somebody took her. This isn't like her to just pick up and run away, or just not go to school. I don't know what to think.
Friends, the friend's parents, you've contacted and
Everyone.
went through every single person?
This is not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off. We don't know where she could be. We're scared. She was a happy kid. She's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl. She brings a lot of joy to us, and we just not feeling her presence here is... Sorry. It's hard.
Throughout the interview, I think that Jennifer is quite nervous and maybe anxious. Again, those are just my thoughts. It may be because she's hiding something, but it could mean a lot of things. Stephan is sitting next to her. Maybe she feels unsafe. As you heard from the interview, she reveals that she wasn't the one who took her daughter to school, despite saying, quote, "We took her to school." This just happens to be one of the alleged contradicting statements she has given to law enforcement. Let's talk about Stephan's interview and his emotions, or I should say, lack thereof. I truly believe that no one's guilty until proven otherwise, but in this case, I must say that there is nothing in the world that can convince me that Stephan wasn't involved in Maddie's disappearance. I don't know if you caught this, but there is a moment where Stephan says, quote, "She was a happy girl," referring to Maddie in the past tense.
She was a happy kid. She's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl.
There's a micro expression there where he looks up at the interviewer to see if he caught what he had just slipped. On February 28th, Stephan is arrested as the prime suspect in Madeline Soto's disappearance. According to investigators, there were video evidence showing Stevens throwing items that belonged to Madeline into a dumpster at their Kissimmee apartment complex around 7:35 a.m. on February 26. This was the day she was reported as missing. The sheriff's office later said that it found Madeline's backpack and her school-issued laptop in a dumpster.
Why aren't you talking to investigators?
Investigators did a forensic review of Stephan's cell phone after he said he'd, quote, accidentally performed a factory reset on it. Despite this, they were able to find files on his phone depicting sexual performance on a minor. Detectives alerted police upon determining that, quote, those crimes were committed at the family home in Kissimmee. This was back in 2019 when Maddie would have been 8 years old. Investigators believe Madeline was a victim of SA for years. And as we now know, Stephan was living with Madeline and Jennifer for over 6 years. Tragically, on March 1st, after another long search, Orange County deputies recovered Madeline's body in a wooded area off Hickory Tree Road in Osceola County. In an initial report, Stephan said he went home for about an hour after going to a vape store, and then he said he ran errands and was home until 2:30 p.m. that day. However, detectives said a tip showed him changing a flat tire not far from where Madeline's body was found that afternoon.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said thanks, love you too. That was it.
While Stephan had reportedly dropped off Madeline near school that day and says Madeline was sleeping most of the way, investigators explained that this wasn't the case, and Stephan was instead spotted driving a vehicle with Madeline's body instead. And remember when Jennifer said she last saw her daughter the day before her daughter went missing? Newly obtained documents show that she actually told deputies February 26 that she saw her daughter getting dressed for school at 8 a.m. and Stephan then took her to school. However, investigators say Maddie was likely dead before 8 a.m. At this point, it does not surprise me that Stephan once works for Disney. Disney claims that Stephan Stearns does not work for the company but didn't say whether he previously worked for the company. The odd twist to this is that Maddie's body was found a 10-minute drive away from Disney World. A total of 60 new charges have been filed against Stephan Stearns. While he is facing 60 new charges, he has not been charged in the connection to Madeline's death. He reportedly has not been speaking on the matter of her death and has not been cooperating in this investigation. The public also wants to know why Maddie's biological father hasn't spoken up. We've heard absolutely nothing from him yet. I don't think that he necessarily has to address the public, but I do hope that he is cooperating in this investigation. I think it's pretty clear what the public thinks of Jennifer Soto as of now, but she has not been implicated. When police were asked if she is considered a person of interest, they responded by saying, quote, everyone close to Madeline is considered a suspect until proven otherwise, but that she is cooperating. We don't know if Stephan will be charged in Madeline's death, however, there is a good chance he will be. Investigators are still waiting for Madeline's autopsy. As of now, Stephan Stearns has invoked his right to an attorney and has stopped cooperating, but we do know that he is not leaving his jail cell, that is for sure. Now, I completely understand why Madeline would want to run away and, quote, live in the woods. If the allegations are true, I have so many questions as to how no one knew what was going on inside her home. My heart breaks for Madeline, and I hope that she can now rest in peace. This case has ended so tragically, and the investigation isn't even over yet. I am deeply disturbed by Stephan Stearns and his behavior. He is truly a disgusting and despicable monster. Now, I know that he hasn't been charged for Madeline's death, but the crimes that he has committed are absolutely disgusting. I hope he stays behind bars for the rest of his life. What are your thoughts? Do comment down below, and if you haven't yet, do subscribe. For now, take care and stay safe.